My viewer Kitten6363 left a comment a while ago on one of my videos about how she hopes I do a video about the weird way dog culture is dumbed down to toddler level. Adults refer to dogs as doggies, as if they are little children. And dog businesses' signs are done in wobbly primary colored lettering, implying something childlike and innocent about full-grown, neutered scavenger animals with a prey drive. But it even goes beyond just imagining that these hideous shit beasts are human toddlers. The toddler speak is for their owners as well. Like I said, she wrote, their adult owners use childlike language like doggy and poot. It's not for the dog. The dog can't understand. How utterly weird. And in my Canine Aversion Facebook group, someone left these pictures. It's some sort of advertising, come, and adopt an adult dog. They want people to adopt, as if you adopt animals. You only adopt children, people. It's a word reserved for humans. But anyway, come get an adult dog. And do they realize that these animals they are using baby talk with? They speak with baby talk to these animals. They think about them as their fur babies. Do they realize these are full-grown dogs? So I'm going to talk about this today. Almost all of us do it without thinking. Every time we talk to a baby, we naturally change the rhythm and pitch of our speech. We use a greater variety of tones than we would use when speaking to an adult. We lengthen and drag out some sounds. What a good girl! The grammar we use is simpler. We use shorter words, we speak more slowly and more clearly, separating out our words. It's like an exaggerated version of the way we might speak to an adult who doesn't speak our language fluently. When we speak to babies, there is often a sing-song quality to our delivery. This higher pitch seems to be attractive to babies and is likely to get their attention. Slowing down our speech and speaking clearly and simply helps babies to recognize sounds and helps them to work through what language is about. This style of speech also helps to develop a mutual relationship with a child. A non-vocal element of communicating with babies is increased eye contact. We usually look a baby in the eyes when we are talking to them. This helps build relationships. As well as adjusting the style of our language, we also adjust the content. There are certain words that are only used with babies and toddlers. In English, we use repetitions such as choo-choo for train or night-night for good-night, diminutives that usually end in y, such as horsey or tummy, and onomatopoeic words that represent a sound, such as bang or splash. More complex words will often be shortened, for example, binky instead of pacifier. A study by the University of Edinburgh, or Edinburgh, I'm never sure how to pronounce that, suggests that the more baby words that infants are exposed to, the quicker their grasp of language. The use of repetition and diminutives is of much more importance than the use of onomatopoeic words that represent sounds. The more baby talk words that infants are exposed to, the quicker they develop language skills. This study was carried out in English, but it is a similar picture in most, although not all, cultures. Babies around the world are being spoken to like babies. In many different cultures and in different languages, people use repetition and diminutives. The word mama, for example, would be recognized in a large number of countries, as would pee-pee, poo-poo, and caca. The main benefits to baby talk are: babies pay more attention to baby talk. Brain scans show higher amounts of brain activity listening to baby talk than to adult speech. Exposure to baby talk improves language acquisition. The use of baby talk is almost universal and has been shown to have benefits in language acquisition and in developing relationships between parents and children. This style of talking and the particular use of repetition and diminutives has been increasingly evident elsewhere. It has become the case that when we hear an adult speaking in a higher register, using varying tones, and speaking in a particular rhythm, we can expect that it may be applied as much to dogs as to babies. In the recent past, talking at all to a dog would have been seen as eccentric and bizarre. But now, many people talk to dogs as if they were babies. Many of them can be seen and heard talking to dogs using baby talk and staring into the dog's eyes while it licks their mouth. Why do they do it? A good starting point is the reasons why people do it with babies. Are any of these explanations viable? Since dogs have neither the intellectual nor the physiological capacity to develop human language, it means that language acquisition is not a viable explanation. Another explanation may be that the higher register and change of rhythm makes a dog more attentive. As in most dog-related information, research is scant, contradictory, or equivocal. Also, as in most dog-related reporting of studies, there is cherry-picking of findings and confusion between causation and correlation. One recent study at the University of Lyon, Saint-Étienne, came to the conclusion that puppies respond to baby talk, but older dogs do not. This was not particularly popular in the dog-worshipping community. A study carried out at the University of York has been much more widely reported in the dog-related press as being evidence of baby talk helping to create a bond between dog and owner. Their conclusion is not as clear-cut as the dog press are making out. Quote, "We found that adult dogs were more likely to want to interact and spend time with the speaker that used dog-directed speech with dog-related content than they did those that used adult-directed speech with no dog-related content," end quote. The phrase dog-directed means baby talk. So is the dog reacting to the baby talk? Or is it reacting to a recognition of key sounds about its selfish needs and wants for food or walks or whatever? All of the dog sites that I read chose to ignore the dog-related content and homed in on the baby talk component. The attractiveness of the York report is that dog worshippers can baby talk to a dog throughout its whole lifespan and claim that their silly behavior has scientific backing. These claims that speaking to dogs as if they were human babies has advantages for the development of a bond between dog and owner have several flaws. There is no proof that such a bond exists, other than from anecdotal evidence from dog worshippers themselves. They have no way of knowing what their dog thinks of them, and they can provide no proof that there is any kind of mutual respect between them and the dog. It's just an illusion. One advantage of baby talk to humans that I did not mention earlier is that using baby talk can make the speaker feel good about themselves. This would be valid with dogs as well. It is like a type of auditory virtue signaling. By talking in this way, you are signaling that you are a compassionate person who takes time out to speak in a caring way to an animal. It shows that you care, and it lets other people hear that you care. Not all dog owners speak to dogs using baby talk, but an increasing number of people do, and it is becoming more normal. Using baby talk with babies is time limited. There comes a time in every parent-child relationship when a horsey becomes a horse, a choo-choo becomes a train, and a baba becomes a sheep. There comes a time when the word pacifier becomes irrelevant, as do the words diaper or potty. In other words, babies grow up. This could be a clue to the use of baby talk with dogs. A dog can remain infantilized for all of its life, stuck like prehistoric species in the La Brea tar pits. Infantilizing a dog underlines its dependency on the owner and transmits a feeling of power and control. The way of speaking to a dog is part of the overall infantilizing process, and this can lead some people to literally perceive their dog as an infant. This can be delusional or stupendously stupid, or psychopathically cunning. For some, it is delusional because they actually believe that the dog has human qualities and will refer to it as their son or daughter or their fur baby. With such a delusion, baby talk would seem like a reasonable way to go. This group will also place dogs in strollers or dress them up for parties and special occasions. It can be stupendously stupid in that some people are gullible and will believe anything that is fed to them. This group will absorb propaganda and suspend all critical thinking. They will believe any sentimental nonsense about dogs. If they are told that dogs are like children, then they will behave towards dogs as they behave towards children, using baby talk and infantilizing dogs. Many of these people are fed metaphors and similes and take them as reality. If you are psychopathically cunning, then there is considerable utility in speaking to your dog as if it was a baby. This opens the doors to insisting that your dog can go everywhere and do anything because it is a helpless baby. Dog owners do something that parents do not. A parent will use baby talk to a baby, but not to another adult, unless it's a joke. A parent might say to a baby, "You want num-nums?" But they would create a what the fuck moment if they used that phrase with other adults. With dog owners, there is no cutoff. They will write about dogs using baby talk and infantile language. They will talk or write about doggies among themselves. Dogs can't read, so the baby talk is not for their benefit. They will post photos of dogs with some idiotic mangling of English, which is supposedly a quote from the dog in the photo. If a parent posted photos of their child with similar messages, people would be sharpening stakes, looking out silver bullets and throwing garlic at them. Sometimes this phenomenon can be found in adverts and films with talking dogs, or where we are supposedly listening to the dog's thoughts. They communicate with each other using bizarre fake baby talk neologisms or misspellings such as pibbles, doggo, pupperino, woofer, corgo, or heckin good boy. This jargon is called DoggoLingo, and it is shameful that adults are communicating with each other like this. By using baby talk and by creating these neologisms, they are creating a kind of jargon that is inclusive to their kind and which excludes non-believers. If you use baby talk to a dog in public, it signals that you are one of the group. To dog rationalists like us, what it signals is that you are demeaning yourself, you are belittling your species, and you are debasing parenthood. It signals to us that the future has to be dog-free.